This video today is being done in memory of Deputy Shannon Bennett of the Broward County Sheriff's Department, who passed away April 7th of 2020 from the coronavirus. He was a 12-year veteran of the Broward County Sheriff's Office. Your life mattered. Thank you for your service, and thank you for all of your family and friends that gave you to us to help ensure the safety and welfare of the people of Broward County in Florida. This week we're going to be talking about basically a bonehead chief down in Florida who opened his mouth and overloaded his butt. When I read the story, the first thing that came to mind was, they put this guy in charge of what? I'm not really sure that he's doing a good job managing himself, much less managing the police department. Don't get me wrong, we all say stupid stuff, we all do stupid stuff, we have stuff escape from our mouth. It is just, for lack of a better way of putting it, I wish we could just break it off and put it back in our mouths, but we can't. In this particular instance, this Chief Engle, down from the Davies Town Police Department in Florida, was addressing his men in reference to their concerns about going out and working during this coronavirus stuff. Deputy Shannon Bennett, let's see, you got Shannon Bennett here, this is his picture. You got Chief Dale Engle here, this is his picture. Basically told them that this deputy, who is a 12-year veteran, who dedicated 12 years of his life to the service and care of the people of Broward County, from what I understand, and did so quite honorably, and he didn't die because of coronavirus. He died because he was homosexual, or his homosexual activities, or attending homosexual functions, or so on and so forth. Here's my thing with that. What does that have to do with anything? Nothing. Nothing. Period. Not one thing. And to even bring it up is thoughtless and stupid. I don't think that the coronavirus is somehow attacking people based upon their race, their creed, their ethnicity, their sexual preference, their political party affiliation, none of that. It pretty much hits us all, whether you're rich, you're poor, whatever. What'll get you infected with this particular disease or this virus is exposure to it. And chiefs and sheriffs and administrators and all these folks that are out here should be doing this and this only, and that is thinking every way that they can to protect their troops from being exposed to it. Now, obviously, a police officer, sheriff's deputies, anybody, postmen, anybody that's out there in the public that has to go to work every day because they're essential workers has the potential to be exposed, and they need to take precautions. Just because this virus came along, the world did not stop. Yeah, we've closed down businesses, but domestics are still taking place, thefts are still taking place, murders are still taking place, except for in the city of Miami. The first time since 1957, we had the article on it, that they haven't had a murder in like an 8-week period. They've had no murders for 8 weeks. First time that's happened since, I believe, 1957. Congratulations, Miami PD. That's awesome. And of course, the county jurisdiction, I'm sure, that surrounds it's also doing an exceptional job. That's awesome. Great work. Great work. I'm sure you guys weren't out making comments about people dying of the coronavirus based upon their sexual orientation. That's just a guess. I just don't understand for the life of me what would have possessed this guy to go out and make a comment like this. It's just ridiculous. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, we all say stupid stuff sometimes, but it's just like, from reading what has been released from the union and so on and so forth. It just got bad. It was bad and got worse. I mean, I'm almost flabbergasted just even trying to talk about it. I can't imagine being a police officer at Davies PD or a sheriff's deputy at Broward County, and one of my fellow warriors has gone down and has been killed by this disease, and you have this chief that's just besmirching his memory, for lack of a better way of putting it. Now, I wanted to read something to you, and I do this every time. I use the Marcus Aurelius, and something that he said. If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth, by which no one was ever truly harmed. It is the person who continues in his self-deception and ignorance who is harmed. Think about that for a second. And I know that the chief came out with an apology, and I think that, or at least I think he did. I would hope he did. I haven't read it. I've just heard about it. And I know that they've probably reached out to some of the folks that he's friends with or connected with, and I'm sure they said, you know, he's a super nice guy, and he never would have done that intentionally. But the whole fact of the matter is he did. And I'm sure that there's people in the LGBT community within Florida and other parts of the United States who are like, yeah, here's something that's happening that's, you know, further marginalizing us. And I can understand why they'd feel that way. Because, you know, things like that, when you say stuff like that, it's just, it just makes the problem worse. Once again, I think that, you know, if you're going to be a leader, be it one echelon above, whether you're a corporal or a sergeant or a lieutenant or a captain or a major or a deputy chief or a chief, then, you know, you need to be careful about what you say. And, you know, I had a lot of folks tell me in my life, and I've heard this more than one time, that, you know, alcohol make a person tell the truth they wouldn't ordinarily when they're sober, and anger will do the same thing. So, you know, what is the real truth here? Is that what he really thinks? Was he frustrated? Whatever. I mean, you know, once he said it, he can't get it back. Bottom line. Chiefs, sheriffs, administrators, folks that are in charge of managing law enforcement, helping law enforcement, you know, they got to understand that we're here. Your personal preferences about what you believe about whatever, that stops at the door. But the only thing that concerns you is the law. That's it. And the law is not moral. It's not. The law is written by men. It's not moral. It is what it is. I'm just so disturbed by this, I don't even know what to say. I can't imagine how this man's family must feel. I understand he was supposed to get married in December, so that's, you know, not only traumatic for him, but traumatic for his significant other as well. It's just a bad situation. End of the day, whatever it is that you do in your bedroom, whoever it is that you do it with, that's your business. No one else. It's not against the law. So why anyone would go out there and make such outlandish statements as the reason that person died was because of their sexual preference in regards to this disease is just, you know, it's unforgivable. And I think that if this chief manages to, I guess, find a path through this, then he's going to have a great deal of making up to do before his credibility is restored. And like I said, you know, all of us make mistakes. All of us. I've made plenty of them. And we've all said stupid stuff. But when you say something that stupid, and you say it in front of a crowd of people, it doesn't matter if you say it in front of one person. You know, if you can't control your mouth, if you can't even manage yourself, how can you manage anybody else? I hate it when cops go out there and make stupid decisions. I mean, we all do. Every profession has people that make dumb decisions, say dumb things. You know, I've always heard that, you know, comedians, when they get out here and they tell the most tasteless jokes in the world, that, you know, they're always testing to see how far they can go. And I understand that from a comedian in a certain sense, but even they sometimes go too far and it costs them in a major way. I can't think of the comedian's name who was telling jokes about a natural disaster that took place, and needless to say, it ended up costing him a great deal of money and ended up costing a great deal of sponsorships and so on and so forth that he had. But hey, when you open your mouth and you put it out there, then you have to own it. And I think this chief is going to have to own it. We'll just have to wait and see what happens to him. But I don't blame his rank and file troops for being upset. I don't blame the law enforcement community in Florida for being upset, and I don't blame the LGBT community for being upset. Not a bit. Because bottom line, if you're in leadership, then you have to own what you say, and he's going to have to own this. So once again, we appreciate your patronage with CopBLue, and appreciate you watching our videos every week. We're going to try and make them more and more interesting as the time, try and interview some people, and keep pushing forward with our message, which is to send cops home safe every day. So, as always, be safe out there. Thanks.